from Newton, North Carolina, with your host, Dennis Lee, and co-host Danny Hicks. And you know, it's your man, DJ Q3, providing sound for your listening pleasure. Let's Barbershop Sports Talk. Let's go!
Welcome to Flip's Barbershop Sports Talk. Episode 7.
Yeah, hey, a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, a lot of talk. High school, a little college, and big weekend for the NFL this weekend. Plus this fall weather, man, this feels good outside.
Yeah, getting a little football weather. I saw some leaves falling. I drove halfway across the country this past weekend.
Nice.
Had to listen to the games on some radio. It was kind of good to hear some of that sports talk radio stuff. Not nearly as much fun as it was seeing some of the results of some of those games. Now let's go ahead and knock out the first one last night. Then how about them Eagles and the Bucks? I'm an Eagles fan. I'm a Bucks fan. I will tell you, very impressive with the Eagles up front offensively. That line was just dominant.
Yeah, we got the best offensive line in the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, and just a shout out to a local person on that team, Landon Dickerson. Played at South Caldwell High School. Got a big penalty last night. I saw that. Illegal man downfield. I've never seen that penalty called in the last several years. But they called 2 in that game last night, and I was kind of glad of it. But hey, kudos to the Eagles. I was still kind of proud of my Bucks. They had a few things early that could have helped them out a little bit, but they weren't able to capitalize on it. Had some 3 or 4 drop passes. But kudos to the Eagles. They look really good, and I see them as the cream of the crop in that division. Especially after what happened. We'll talk about some of those things.
Yeah, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Yeah, we got plenty to talk about that. But Danny, a little advertisement real quick. Folks, don't forget the big PS5 Madden tournament, October 21st. Saturday, October 21st, double elimination. It's a $25 entry fee. Sign up here at the shop, or we got it on our website, our Flex Barbershop website. Also, a lot of people are asking the price is $25 entry fee, and first place prize we get $150. Second place prize $50. Lock in when you pay. So we're only taking first 20 players. So.
Hey man, it's growing. It's growing every day. Getting phone calls left and right. A lot of stuff going on there, and I know there's a lot of good players out there. I'm hearing like. Who would think that you had rankings in like Madden 24? But I'm hearing some rankings that some people might be number 1, number 2, number 3. We'll see how it goes. But hey, now's the chance to get in.
We had actually we was talking about that a while ago. Me and my nephew KK, and he said ain't nobody beating Landon Abernathy. So
where's Landon Abernathy in?
He
ain't in. He can't win.
Yeah, he's in. He actually sent me a message last night. It was at midnight. So I know he's in. So
I don't know how good he is, but here's what I do know: his lineage and his heritage. He ain't gonna be short on confidence.
No, definitely not. And also, let me add that that weekend we will also be having hamburger and hot dog sale that weekend. The day of the podcast on Saturday, October 21st. So it's a big day that Saturday. So get your name in. Like I said, we're locking in at 20 players and not taking any more. So. And first place prize again, $150. Second place prize, $50. And it'll be a fun day.
First annual.
First annual Flips Barbershop Sports.
First inaugural. My bad. Inaugural. He's got it right.
All right. Sherrod.
He keeps it straight. I like that.
Sherrod. We're gonna bring him on the podcast later on. Talk a little junk about. Not the G-men, but how about them Cowboys?
Man, there's going to be some sour apples on that podcast today. I see that chat line is going to be busted up about them Cowboy fans.
Wow. But, Danny, a little bit of this past Friday night, let's talk a little bit about high school football.
So, big games in the high school football arena last week, and I will tell you that the biggest game I think on the docket was West Lincoln and Maiden. Kudos to the West Lincoln Rebels. They kind of remind me of those Philadelphia Eagles. It's kind of just a smash mouth football. Nothing fancy, nothing really unique, just a well-run offense. They run a couple of different things that makes it a little hard to see the football. But really, it's all between in the tackles. And it was a really, really close. Again, I listened to that on the radio halfway across the country in Missouri, and I listened to the play-by-play there, and it was really close down the stretch. I couldn't figure out why nobody could get an extra point there. That was tearing my nerves up, man. It was like 6-0, and then 6-6, and then 12-6. I'm like, can nobody kick an extra point? You need to get some of them soccer players lined up with some of these football coaches.
They're out there, but hey, it was a bad night for 2-point conversions and extra points. But Danny, speaking of that game, I was at that game. You know, of course, my son was out there, and I tell you what, West Lincoln just runs it at you and dares you to stop.
But, yeah, and that's how I felt last night watching the Bucks Eagles games. But you know, kudos to the West Lincoln Rebels. I don't know if you know this or not, but in the youth league that we referee in, all the way up through the middle school, the junior varsity, and the varsity, they try to emulate that offense that West Lincoln runs. So by the time they get to high school, they got a pretty good concept of what that offense is, and apparently they run it really well and have some athletes who are able to excel in the trenches, and I think that was a difference. I think that the Blue Devils gave it the old heave-ho, but I also think they got wore down a little bit in those trenches possibly.
Yeah, they did, and you know, if you don't, you got to line up. In my opinion, you line 9 up and dare them to throw the ball, but they was still running the ball at us. So, but they got a big one this week too. The West Lincoln, they do that.
So that's the cream of the crop this week. It's going to see which rooster gets the crow because both of those teams, Bunker Hill 5-0 coming into this game, and West Lincoln is 5-0. Something's got to give, and both those teams are off to a big start and are undefeated. So we'll see, and I think that will set the tone for the chaser. And by that I mean, who's everybody going to be chasing in this second half of the season? Because we're turning the corner now. We're 5 games in, you know, 11 game season, regular season. So after this week, either Bunker Hill or West Lincoln will be in pretty good shape. But pretty good shape really means that they're just going to be 1 game up on everybody. So, you know, again, we talked about that last week. Several threats throughout that conference. You got the Blue Devils, you got Bunker Hill Bears, you got West Lincoln, you got Bandits who have shown some signs of spirit and said, hey, those Lincoln Wolves making a little noise.
Yeah, they had a big win this Friday
against the Red Devils.
Yeah, Red Devils 22-21.
Tight game. I actually listened to that on the radio as well, all the way down the stretch, and it went down to the wire. But 2 weeks in a row, the Wolves have shown some really big improvement. And it sounds like they're very athletic, and they could create some problems for anybody. So there's no night off in the CBAC.
No, and you know, Lincoln gave Bunker Hill a run for their money. You know, they lost about 6 or 8 points. And,
yeah.
But Lincoln, that was a great 0-14. So, but yeah, I don't think you have a night off in the CBAC. So, like you said, it's coming down to the stretch, and we'll see.
Yeah, and in the Western, in the 3A Western Foothills High School, the Hickory Red Tornadoes are just rolling, and I think they're going to continue to roll this week. They go into this game 6-0, and they're playing St. Stephen, which is 0-5. This week also, West Iredale is kind of a surprise. They're 5-0 in that same season. I've seen them in a scrimmage game early in August. They'll be playing East Lincoln, who comes into that 3-2. Fred T. Ford looking for their first victory this week against Statesville, who's 3-2. And then North Iredale and North Lincoln. North Iredale is 3-2 overall, and North Lincoln is 2-4. So it should be a good game for all those. But I will tell you, the Hickory Red Tornadoes, from day one when we met up and interviewed Joe Glass, that he said we have more athletes now than I've ever had on any other team, and they continue to show that. And so kudos to the Red Tornadoes, and kudos to Bunker Hill as well as West Lincoln for this big matchup this week. It should be a good 50-50.
Yeah, it definitely will be. And you're right about Coach Glass. He definitely told us what he had, and he wasn't lying. So.
No, he's a very humble coach, but you can tell he's locked in. Whatever happened last week, he's told me that a few times, it's gone. So he's already eyeball deep in his game plan for this week, and I'm sure that he feels good about it. So all he has to really do is just make sure that they don't have a letdown. They've got the athleticism to win, and are showing that week after week.
Yeah, I'll be giving him a call Monday, try to get him on our show Tuesday, and and see what he has to say about this Friday's game.
Yep, it's going in the second half of the season, and it'll start getting a little tighter each week. That rope will get a little bit tighter each week for all these teams.
But Danny, another thing is what we're going to talk about is the upcoming college football schedule a little bit. It was a great Saturday for some football.
So it was a great Saturday for football, and there was some crazy point spreads. I watched 2 games. Again, I listened and watched a lot of football games while I was out of town. And the first one was my Tar Heels. I thought that they performed well and was able to get it done off to a slow start. But the game of the week for me was Notre Dame and Ohio State. And I think, I like Notre Dame. I was pulling for them, and I think they had it right in the of their fingertips and let it slip out of the way. I'm not going to second guess coaching. Not today. I might do it some other time, but not today. But I think if they don't throw that incomplete pass when they have their possession and they use that clock or make Ohio State use that timeout, that 10-second runoff at the end of the game would have been the death of Ohio State, would have been over. But kudos to Ohio State. I'm not a fan, but they're a heck of a good football program, and they deserve to win it down the stretch. But I really think that it slipped through Notre Dame's fingers. And again, another local shout out to offensive coordinator for Ohio State, Mr. Kevin Wilson from Maiden, North Carolina, former Tar Heel.
Yep. Yeah, that was a tough loss for my Irish, but we'll bounce back. Hey, they got a tough one this week too. They go to Duke. Duke sold out for the first time. And I don't know how many years this Saturday. It's a prime time game on ABC at 7:30.
Man, speaking of prime time, let's talk about that one a little bit. So, Prime was a little quiet this week, and I think he knew what was coming. And that doesn't take away from anything that they've accomplished. But, man, is the media all over Colorado or what? It's every game day this, game day that. They're going to have a tough schedule the next few weeks. And it'll be some humble pie here or there, but I will tell you, Oregon looked pretty daggone good.
I tell you what, in the trenches, that was the difference. I mean, them big boys from Samoa on Oregon's offensive line.
Yeah.
Colorado had no answer for them.
Yeah.
And on the defensive line, they was getting in there. Now, Shador didn't have no time.
No, he didn't have time to set his feet. He didn't have time to do anything. I think in the trenches is where the Buffaloes will struggle here and there throughout the season. I think in the skill position areas, they got some people that can match up. But if you're going to get in the trenches, then I think that they could be in trouble. And they got USC coming up, I think.
Yeah, the Trojans.
The Trojans. Their quarterback's the former or current Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
Yep, and they will be impressive as well. But kudos to all those teams. A lot of good football and a lot better football to come yet. But one thing I hadn't heard much of is, we had Alabama early losing to Texas. Texas is pretty loaded as well, but I'm still not hearing all the hoopla about Georgia. Like, people aren't really talking about Georgia, but they're right there at the top.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to call out the college football rankings, man, and Georgia hadn't moved, so somebody's thinking pretty highly of them.
Yeah, they are. You don't see it on. I guess it's boring to talk about them when we're beating.
Yeah, when they're that good. But let me read them off to you real quick. It's Georgia at 1, Michigan 2, Texas is 3, Ohio State 4, FSU 5, Penn State 6, Washington Huskies 7. That's another team people don't talk about.
Huskies,
yeah.
Well, especially on this side of the country because it's a late night game most of the time. But that Florida State Clemson game was it was a good game. The ACC's got a little noise going on in that lineup right there you're talking about. So we got Florida State. Who else in there from the ACC?
What we got? Florida State. In top 10, we got just Florida State.
Okay.
Yeah, just Florida State. And number 8 is USC Trojans. Number 9, Oregon. Number 10, Utah. Finish off the top 20, Notre Dame at 11. 12, speaking of Bama, Bama's at 12. They can sneak up on you, though. They keep winning these games.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a lot of sneaking. They're going to have a little help along the way to make sure that people get that.
But 13 LSU, 14 Oklahoma. The Tar Heels jumped all the way to 15th.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a little too much for them. I don't want them to wade out into the water too deep because they still got some problems that they're gonna have to get fixed.
16th, Washington State. The Duke Blue Devils up 17th.
Hey, kudos to the Blue Devils. To me, they're the ones that are quietly just going to go through the season and keep climbing. Pretty solid football team across the board.
Yeah, 18 Miami, 19 Oregon State, and 20 Mississippi.
So the ACC's got four or
Yeah.
five of those folks in there, and that's a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, ACC is showing up this year. So, but Danny, we're gonna take a little small break, and then we're gonna talk about the NFL.
Hey, that's what I want to talk
All right,
about. I want to talk about the losses, not the wins.
We'll be back on the flip side.
All ready? All right, John.
Welcome back, Flex Barbershop Sports Talk. Some people asked about the PS5 Madden tournament. You can look on our Flips Barbershop webpage on Facebook, and you can see some information on there. It's got my phone number on there, so if you want to contact me to register, you're welcome to do that. Or come by the shop over here at 1912 Northwest Avenue, Newton, North Carolina, and just come by and sign up and talk to Flip Connor or KK McDaniel about getting signed up for the Madden tournament. But also, just go to the page, Facebook page, the Flip Barbershop Facebook page, and you will see the information on there.
Only 20 spots. Get them while they last now.
One more thing, we do have a new website. It's going to be it's flipsportstalk.com. Flipsportstalk.com.
Flipsportstalk.com. Got it.
Flipsportstalk.com. We also want to have that information there. We don't have any of that information on the screen right now, but we just got the name yesterday. So that's what we're going to, so we can keep the flipsbarbershop.com when you want to make an appointment in our sports talk. We want to keep that separate.
Yep, got it.
All right. Appreciate it, BJP Free. Well, like we said, we're jumping into the NFL. Actually got a comment on here, Danny, from Brian Stacks. He said, how about my Dolphins? 70 and turn down 73 points.
Hey, listen, they're impressive. We've said it every week, and the Dolphins have a few things going on, and I said it a couple weeks already. Until someone figures out how to handle Tyreek Hill, it's going to be trouble. Now, the problem that I'm seeing is if you put all your energy into that outside coverage with Tyreek Hill, who's going to stop that run game? Because let me tell you right now, they were clicking on all cylinders, and that's probably the most points scored in a long time. I'll do a little research on that while we're on here, but the Dolphins absolutely look great. And just to give you some comparison, there's three teams that are 3-0. All right, so we got the San Francisco 49ers, who are 3-0. They scored a total of 90 points, gave up 42. So that defense is pretty good. So let's talk about the Eagles. They've scored 84 points, not as many as the Niners, and they've given up 59 points. Still a good defense, not 42, but still good. Now listen to this number. The Miami Dolphins have scored 130 points in three games and only gave up 71. So I don't know about the level of competition that each one of them has played, but I will tell you that they're all three pretty impressive. They all three have pretty solid defenses. But that offense of the Dolphins Miami is they're going to be a juggernaut until some people figure it out. Kudos to their offensive coordinator with the creativity. They found ways to use different people, and they are all over the field. But I will tell you this, they're fun to watch.
I'll tell you what, they look like they're playing Madden out there, Dan.
Yeah, they definitely look like they're playing Madden for sure.
But yeah, I like, they got like, actually, like Flip just said, they got a track team out there.
They do have a track team, and they're like running the 4x100 every play. However, I will say this, some of their games have been a little easier than other people's have, but this week, it's all even on the board in Vegas because they're playing the Buffalo Bills, and we'll definitely see a true test out of the Miami Dolphins, and in that conference, that's a big game.
Oh, that's a real big game.
I mean, and it'll be packed out. It'll definitely be a must-watch game, and that'll be a 1:00 game on CBS. But right now, it's all even, -2 for whoever you pick.
Wow. Speaking of Buffalo Bills, we got a guy calling in, actually a good friend of the family, good friend of my son, my nephew. He's actually a big Buffalo Bills fan.
Yes.
But right now, he's the trainer, one of the trainers for the Chicago Bears, and he'll be calling in a little bit and discussing about his job and what the path he got to the NFL. So we'll be hearing from him very soon.
Hey, Dan, let's get a couple more comments real quick before we jump into that. We do have a few folks on here, and I got Derek Rogers, and he's saying that the Eagles get every single call, and it's ridiculous. So I don't know. I watched the game last night, and actually I'm a Bucs fan, but I will tell you that calls or no calls, that offensive line for the Eagles really are just tough to handle.
Well, the difference in that, Danny, and I hope Derek's still listening, that we might get all the calls, but we pull off a win. The Ravens get all the calls and still lose to the Indianapolis Colts.
I don't know. He sent me a text and it said "Fly Ravens fly." I don't know what that means.
Oh, he texted me last night during the game.
Okay.
He said Eagles suck.
Yeah.
Well, but I think he does it just to get on mine. But I don't answer back. So, but he knows I should have ate him up Sunday when the Colts beat.
See, then everybody should have a relationship. So, like last night, my team played your team. I didn't talk no junk. I might have talked a little bit if we'd been a little better, but you didn't really talk no smack either.
No, but there's fans like that. But look, speaking of that, I did have one of our buddies, Antoine Eichert.
He didn't talk smack, did he?
No, he did last week at the barbershop. He placed a $50 bet. So I made sure I went and picked it up before I came to the podcast, and took a picture with him.
He'll get it back though. Listen, I appreciate the fact that he's into our Bucks that much, and we like it.
We got another. I think DJ P. Free. So you got a comment.
Yeah, Jerome had a pretty interesting fact here.
Last time a team put up 70 points or more in the NFL was November 27th, 1966.
1966. By a show of hands, anybody in here was born before 1966?
I was born in 1966.
Before 1966.
Nah, not before. I was
All
born
right, that's a
in.
long
Who was
time.
it?
At
Who
the
was
end.
it?
The teams were the then Washington Redskins,
Oh, the
72,
Redskins. 72.
and my Giants.
So if you think about that a little bit, Sherrod.
Is that the reason Sherrod wanted to make that?
Yeah. Hey, the Giants,
They might not score that this whole year.
They
Come on.
gotta have something to celebrate. But listen, the history book. But what I would say to that is, think about the dynamics of what offenses were back then as compared to now. I don't think that's crazy that they could score that many back there running the game like they did.
I am happy, Daniel. I am happy for Tua though. For Tua, a lot of people was hating on him last year, and when he got hurt, concussion, he'll never play football again. And hey, it's showing that you take care of yourself and care about what you're doing.
Yeah, there's been a lot of concussion stuff. They're a little more careful. I think that they did the right thing with Tua just to make sure that he got back to where he is. He's definitely athletic, and he fits the mold of the Miami Dolphins because there are a ton of just really, really good athletes out there. And the thing that I'm saying is nobody's really giving them a lot of credit for their defense, but their defense is pretty solid too. They're looking good.
Yeah, they're legit. They're legit. We're gonna go down and talk about the games this week that happened, Danny. And starting with this past Thursday night, and one of the teams you talked about. Honestly, I think all the whole league. I think Miami Dolphins is at 1, and this team I put it 2. The San Francisco 49ers. They beat the New York Giants Thursday night, 30-12.
Yeah, so I will tell you that I don't know that I was surprised by that. I don't know about you, but I think it just is what it is. But the Giants have got some stuff they got to fix, and they got to get healthy. And I still think that that they paid Daniel Jones, and he's running hard. He's doing this, but no matter what your expectations are, when it gets like this, you got to turn it up just a little more. And I think they've got some turning up to do.
Yeah, and let me talk a little bit about Cleveland Browns. I think that's the surprise team in the AFC. They don't talk about their defense much. All we keep hearing about, Deshaun Watson back. But I tell you what, Cleveland Browns defense is legit.
So let me tell you how legit Cleveland Browns defense is. Then, how many points you think they gave up so far this year?
Average?
No, all total.
Oh, total? Well, they only gave up 3 to Tennessee.
Well, I ain't gonna let you sit here and do the math. Just tell me a number.
I say 20.
Well, it ain't that good, but listen, they gave up 32 points on the season. The next closest team would be the Buffalo Bills, who gave up 35. And then after that, it gets way on up there. So they're definitely not messing around on offense. But they did play. Who they play?
They played the Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans, yeah. It really turned out to be a pretty good game, right?
It was a blowout. 27-3. 27-3. Yeah, it was good game early, but
yeah, and that's all I got to see.
Tennessee struggling on defense. They hadn't found an answer on defense.
Yeah, I got ticked when I saw a comment. It was my brother, so he made some comments to me on the way back. We had a lot of time together in the truck, and he told me that Washington's opponent each week would score 30 points every week. So I thought it was crazy. Well, on the way home, they gave up 30 points. So he was right. And he did say that as far as that 70 points that Miami had, he said Washington might not score 70 points all year. So he's a little down on his team. I know that, he's a little down on that. Hopefully he comes around. But the Commanders are 2-1, though. We'll talk about them a little bit. Who you got next?
Next game was Atlanta Falcons at Detroit Lions, and the score was Detroit 20, Atlanta 6.
Yeah, I needed that because that NFC South is kind of crazy. There's 3 teams jumbled up in the NFC South, and they're all 2-1. And I needed Atlanta to lose that game because I want our Buccaneers to do that. But Detroit's a little impressive. They're quietly, I think, coming around.
Yeah, their defense is really good, and hey, give it up to their running game. They gave up DeAndre Swift and that rookie
Jameer Gibbs.
He's a real deal, and Jared Goff is playing well. I mean, remember a couple years, 4 years ago, they was giving up on him.
Yeah, they gave up on him. The Rams gave up on him, threw him up to Detroit, where nobody wants to go. And I will tell you, over the past couple of years, Detroit has grown and really are contending for that division. And I think that they got a really good chance in that division. Right now, they're 2-1. They're tied with the Packers. But it'll be between them and the Packers because the Vikings are now 0-3, as are the Bears. And I don't see either one of them are turning around. The Vikings can get a little hot and streaky here or there. I think the Bears are the probably the worst football team in the NFL.
We'll get to that score, the Minnesota score, but that's my surprise of the year so far. 0-3 Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and they're paying a lot of money for a lot of people and traded out, and they have the number 1 receiver in the NFL, and so they paid some big money, but it's not showing much dividends. But what it looks like on paper is they've scored 69 points or given up 82. Their defense is not where it needs to be, and to be dynamic on offense, that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah, I agree. Danny, this was a good game Sunday. New Orleans Saints and Green Bay Packers. New Orleans was up 17-0, and Green Bay's going back and won 18-17. How about Jordan Love?
Yeah, so Jordan Love really played well, and you know, we're here at Flip's Barbershop, and that New Orleans game really was like a dagger to our boy Flip's heart over there. That really hurt him on the spreadsheet. But I will tell you, New Orleans was out front cruising, and it really just unraveled in a hurry. But the Packers are kind of sneaky. You know, they need some consistency with their play, but Jordan Love has done pretty good. Hey, it looks like we're getting a call in right now, so let's see who we got. I think we got a good friend, Luke. He's going to come on the show, talk about the Buffalo Bills a little bit, maybe those Bears that we just talked about. So we'll go ahead, Dan.
Good morning, Luke.
Morning, how's it going, guys?
Hey, it's going good, Luke. Good to hear from you, man. Hope everything's going well for you up there.
Everything's going well. Off day. Actually, just got me a little haircut, so all is well.
Yeah, tell us what you've been into.
Say what?
Tell us what you're doing up there.
Yeah, so I'm currently in a seasonal internship with the equipment staff for the Chicago Bears organization, and going on week 4 now of regular season. But basically, you know, what I'm doing is I'm at all the practices. I'm at the facility every day, and I'm doing everything from helmet, shoulder pads, you know, running drills at practice.
Whatever it takes.
I mean, literally everything under the sun, you know, doing laundry too, and I mean, when you name it, I'm doing it except playing. So
you're paying your dues, Luke. You're paying your dues, but I'll tell you now, I sure miss you being in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, we were down there a couple weeks ago in week 2, and I was saying the same thing. I was like, man, I miss being here too with this weather.
Yeah, that weather. I looked at the game last night, and it was all nice and balmy right before the game, and man, when the bottom fell out and they got them big holes in the line of Philadelphia, they shoved it right down our throat.
Oh yeah. I think when we were down there, it was a little over 100 degrees at field level, and we had people cramping up left and right.
Yeah, so what I'm curious about, Luke, I know where you're working, I know what you're doing, and we're certainly proud of you and the journey that you're on and wish you the best, but I know you're a Bills fan, and you know, it was a tough start right out of the gate. People were a little tore up, but seems like they're starting to get their footing back underneath them. Any thoughts on the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Our defense has, and I was messing with, I don't know if KK is there or not. I was messing
he's here.
Our defense statistically is better than this Cowboys defense that I'm hearing so much about. And I sent him some stats yesterday, and he loved it. But here's the thing about the Bills. The defense is not the problem, and we played well against Zach Wilson, too. I think the Bills have given up, I don't know if I'm wrong or not on this, but either 3 or 4 touchdowns all year.
They've given up 35 points total. 35.
Yeah,
that's the second lowest.
Yeah, and I mean, the defense has always been stout. We got our head coach, Joe McDermott, is now the play caller on defense. So ever since he switched over to the last 3 games, he's made a big difference. But I will say, Josh Allen always struggled against that Jets defense. And most games that he played against them last year, he struggled mightily. And so while my emotions took over after the game and I was really upset, the next day I was like, you know what, I think we'll be all right. And, you know,
it turned out
really
to be all right.
He really wrote the ship. And, I mean, we look on. I mean, I would say right now it's between, you know, the 49ers, the Dolphins, and the Bills are the best 3 teams in the NFL.
You're going to have
some disagreement there now.
Listen now, I'm not going to disagree with you, but before Dennis jumps on you, I'm going to tell you all these other Cowboy fans now, they're going to be rowdy about that.
Hey, well, if you're a top 3 team in the NFL, you can't drop one to a winless team.
Yeah, I cannot deny that, and that's a really tough one to swallow. Bam. So we're going to talk about that Cowboys game, and Dan's going to jump on you. But before he jumps on you, he'll come back to that comment. But go ahead, Dan. Go ahead and jump in, then I'll get it.
No, I mean, Luke, to me, I was sitting and talking to my son, Casey, and the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys are about the same exact team, to be honest with you. Y'all can win right now in the regular season, but when y'all see playoffs, y'all get a little nervous and choke. And I think both of them. I mean, I'm just my opinion, Luke. Just my opinion. I mean,
Look, I'm gonna jump in here for you. I don't know. Some of these people that love their teams, they get amnesia. Do you remember how many times the Philadelphia Eagles choked when it came to the playoff? And now they done won one here, and they trying to talk a little smack.
Yeah, but hey, we get to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, you did. You haven't. Well, listen, the Bills have been there pretty good, but nobody's lost more Super Bowls than the Bills.
But my honest opinion, as long as Burrow and Patrick Mahomes is on the other side, Luke, I don't see y'all getting there, but that's just my opinion. Hey, I'm an Eagles fan. Hey, I'm scared of the Kansas City Chiefs, and they over there in the AFC. I ain't worried about nobody else. We can't get by Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and neither can the Bills. And I mean, Dennis, I agree with you. I mean, we can't make it past the AFC Championship game, and can't seem to make that step. But
yeah, that AFC Championship game.
The Bengals right now it is early, and the Bengals struggle. I think they started 0-2 the last 4 or 5 years. They're struggling right now, but they do not look the same as the Bengals in the past. And also, we talk about Mahomes and the Chiefs. Yeah, we still can't pass that little stumbling block, but I really think with McDermott, the head coach, calling the defensive plays, I really think that might have something to say about it.
Well, yeah, I think if we're honest, the Chiefs didn't come out of the gate with blazing saddles themselves, and they're nicked up a little bit, a player down or here or there, which is going to happen in the NFL. You know that, Luke. And when that happens, man, it changes the makeup of that team. You look that Kelsey was out, at how much different it made that team look. But I think the Buffalo Bills, the defense will win that game or whatever for them here or there. But Josh Allen has to be consistent. He is a little shaky starting off. He usually locks in. But what I've noticed in the first 3 games is he's not scared to take some chances. And some of those chances that he has taken have bitten them for a turnover.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Josh has got to play smart. I mean, I was watching the game Sunday, and literally they said straight up, and I agree. If Josh Allen's playing smart, I think they say the Bills are the best team in the NFL, and if he's playing dumb, they can be beat by anybody.
Yeah, that drove 3 interceptions.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah. I mean, I think this week is a big test. I'm sure you guys have talked about this game. If not, you will.
Yeah, we're talking it up now.
For both teams there, we're going to figure out a lot about both teams right now. I know it's early on in the season, but, we're going to see the Dolphins play a good defense, the Bills playing a good offense. I think both sides are going to kind of see what they have this year. I mean, nobody's debating on if these teams are good or bad, but I think we're going to see which team is really better than the other.
So the big question and the last question I got for you is, the Bills are playing the Dolphins at 1 o'clock. The team that you're employed by and working with plays at 1 o'clock. Are you going to be paying attention to your game that you're going to be at and working at, or are you going to have your little phone out on something with the game up on your phone? I mean, how are you going to work through that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I will not have my phone out. That's not
good. They don't play that there.
No, I will be staying on the sideline at Soldier Field watching the ribbon boards for the score updates. That's exactly what I'll be doing. But they're pretty strict on everything on that sideline. You can't even have Apple Watches on the sideline in the NFL.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I would just say this real quick while we're touching about the Bears. A lot of controversy in the media last week. Justin Fields was out there and talked about that. And I know you're not going to comment on any of that, but the Bears have a lot of work to do. And I know that you're a person with a very positive outlook, and I know you'll do your part to try to just keep everything going there. We wish you the best. And we wish them the best as well. Please go ahead.
Luke, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming on and taking a little bit of your time. And man, we praise you. You're a great person, and your path to the NFL has been a great one also. But we appreciate you and keep doing what you do.
Yeah, call us back in a few weeks. We need to talk some more when them Bills get down the road.
Yeah, I want before I head off here. I've been watching the past couple episodes for you guys, and I heard you saying nice things about me. I wanted to tell you I appreciate it a lot. I love watching your guys' show and tuning in each week. But I will say, everybody, back in the community of Maiden has had an impact on my life one way or another. And so I really appreciate everybody that's had an impact on my life. And this journey that I'm on, it's awesome to experience. have impact in that as well. So I want you to enjoy it as well. And but I'm very thankful for my made community, and hopefully I'll be back soon to see everybody and see what's going on.
Hey, well deserved. Luke. We appreciate those comments, and good people come from good parents, and you certainly had a couple of good ones. So we wish you the very best. Stay in touch, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, Luke, and stay tuned, because we're definitely going to talk about them Cowboys here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't wait to hear about them Cowboys. Tell Kate they had a little stumbling block. You can't get too excited now too early. Just let them know that.
It's pretty sad around here right now.
Hey, but look, next time you call, get Justin Fields out there with us.
I'll see what I can do. I'm sure one of these guys might want to get on. I'll ask.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Hey, and KK, by the way, said get ready for this butt kicking you get to Sunday by them Dolphins.
Hey, we get our butt kick Sunday, and we win the playoffs. That's all I care about.
All right, buddy, you take care.
All right, we're going to take a quick. Yeah, thank you, Luke. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk some more NFL football, some plays from last week, and then what we're looking at this week. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back right on the flip side here at Flip's Barbershop. Come back and see us.
Smoke.
Ravens are the team to beat in the AFC. Good luck battling for second place. Ravens, Niners, Super Bowl rematch.
Where you get that at?
Yeah. Send it in to the top.
Oh, I see it.
Where's that thing?
Ravens team to beat in AFC. Good luck battling for second place. Ravens, Niners in the Super Bowl rematch. Send it into Katama.
Whenever y'all ready. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
You turn mine up, man.
I got you muted now. I'm getting ready to turn you on now.
Welcome back to Flip's Barbershop Sports Talk. Got a couple comments from several that's tuning in. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Derek Rogers again. He put Ravens team to beat in AFC. Good luck battle for second place. Ravens Niners in a Super Bowl rematch. He said send it to Catawba Two Kings.
Two King. Oh, he's going to the reservation.
Yeah,
He's
going
a
to
casino.
reservation.
He's placing that
At
bet.
Kings Mountain. So
I just want you to know, I'm not necessarily going to jump on that bandwagon, but the Ravens have climbed the board more than any other team on the odds to win the Super Bowl. Right now, the Ravens would be the fifth best option.
wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Plus 1,100. So Derek, you go down there and bet your $10. If you win, you'll win 120.
Another comment from Mr. Ariaki down there at Depot Deli. How were those sandwiches last week? He
Woo-hoo.
told me they was excellent. Hey, DJ P Freeze from
Official.
Philly, and he said that that's the next best place to go besides up there in Philly. So that's telling you something.
So I went by Depot Deli on the way up here, man. He's got a fence full of signs. He's got all those advertisements. People are loving that Depot Deli, and I think if I could just swing in there real fast, he'd throw one of them sandwiches in the window. I could have time just like a stop and go, and I could go ahead and get back to work on time. So hook us up, Peter.
They were great. They were great. DJ P Free, what you think?
Oh yeah, man. Look, I'm from Philly. You know what I mean? I eat cheesesteaks and hoagies and sandwiches like I'm gonna keep this politically correct. Like Spanish people eat tacos.
Yeah, I like it.
Now I'm trying to tell you, he's got a good sandwich.
Yeah,
he's got a real good sandwich. The bread is right. He's using the right ingredients. Man, kudos.
Yeah.
You have definitely gained a few customers on
Check
this.
Check them out. North Newton.
Absolutely.
Depot Deli.
Depot Deli.
Depot Deli.
Let's get back to some games played this past Sunday.
We gotta run the line. We're gonna run out of time.
Miami Dolphins. Let's talk a little bit about that. 70 points.
Unbelievable. And could have been 73.
Yeah.
Listen, unbelievable, can score in any way you can think of. Lots of options, lots of weapons, and a pretty solid defense.
I'll run down a couple games and we just run by them and then we get to a game that we want to talk about. LA Chargers 28, Minnesota 24.
So either team going in that, one of them's going to be 0-3. As it turned out, it's the Minnesota Vikings who turned out to be 0-3. The Chargers did pull out the win down the stretch, but I will tell you, I don't think anybody would have thought before the season going into that game that they'd be battling to see who was going to be 0-3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Got some work to do.
Yeah. Next game, New England 15, New York Jets 10. I tell you what, Dan, since Aaron Rodgers got hurt,
Done.
they're done for the season.
Stick a fork in them. And unbelievably, I took Garrett Wilson in several different fantasy football leagues because I knew that Rodgers would check down to him a lot, and the value has bottomed out. It's like when the stock market blew up in the 29.
Even Joe Namath said he's had enough. Get Wilson out of there.
Mm.
So
Well, who are they going to put in? Good question.
I don't know. I guess maybe Joe Namath. I mean, yeah.
Well, maybe.
All right. Buffalo, Luke Boh's Buffalo Bills 37, and the Washington Redskins Commanders 3. Barry don't like that, did he?
No, listen, I had to turn the radio off. We were riding across the country, and man, he was like getting physical with my radio. I had to turn it off. I was worried about it.
Also, we ain't heard nothing from Baby Boy.
No, we hadn't heard anything from him. But I will say this: before the game, actually probably even before the season, he said we're going to get beat by 30, and he was right. And 30 points, he said they're going to give up every week. But not a really good game for Sam Howell either. Had like 4 interceptions, I think. I think that he struggled. They struggled, and I think there'll be better days for them to come. But kudos to the Bills; they were clicking on all cylinders finally.
I had a couple of upsets this week, and the next one is a pretty big one. The Houston Texans 37, Jacksonville 17.
So I think that was a surprise for a lot of people, but I don't think that the quarterback for them, C.J. Stroud, is getting the kudos that he should get. There was a lot of controversy about who should be the number 1 pick. I know that Bryce was out this week for the Carolina Panthers, but you got Richardson also up there in Indianapolis. But C.J. Stroud is quietly doing some nice things down there, and he had a big game.
Yeah, he did. Next game, Derek's Baltimore Ravens 19, the Indianapolis Colts 22. Without their starting quarterback.
Yeah, that should shut him down a little bit. But I will tell you, it was an awful game to watch. It was tough to watch, but I was surprised that the Ravens would lose one to the Colts. I know that those are old school rivalries from way back in the day. The Baltimore Colts, now the Ravens, against the actually Indianapolis Colts. So it was interesting, but I was surprised by that one. And that one, I think, will hurt the Ravens down the road. They're gonna win some games, a lot of games probably, but that's gonna be one that's gonna bite them at the end.
By the way, I hope Derek Rogers is still listening. I know he's supposed to be teaching, but we know how that works with Derek Rogers. Derek, you just got beat by Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew.
Wow, that's big.
So,
But
let's jump.
but I do like him though, man. I like Minshew. I feel like he's the guy that they go to the bullpen and say, "Bring him in, let's go."
That's what they done. That's what they done Sunday. Next game is the hometown Carolina Panthers 27, Seattle Seahawks 37. Could we go winless, Danny? Could the Panthers go winless?
I would say yes, they could, but I don't know. Are they playing the Bears? I mean, they got a chance if they play the Bears, but I think that they're going to struggle all year. I think that they will try to develop, but they don't really have any big weapons. I mean, they don't have any spacers. You know, Miles Sanders is big and bulky, and he can get through there. And most of the receivers that they have, Thielen and a few others, DJ Chark, they're still a little half a step slower than they used to be. I think that it's going to be a struggle for them, but I don't think they will win this. I think they'll still win a few because crazy stuff happens in the NFL.
Well, somebody has to win this Sunday, Danny, because they play Minnesota. Minnesota at Carolina. So
Minnesota will beat them by double digits.
okay, I got you. We'll talk about that here in a second. Next game we won't talk about much since we done talked about it a little bit with Luke Bow, but Kansas City 41, the Chicago Bears 10. It's Chicago Bears, I hate to say it, but they really look like a worst team in the NFL.
So their front office is a hot mess. When the quarterback is speaking against the coaches, I think you're in a really hot mess there. And if they don't fix it soon, I think that Justin Fields will lose his opportunities to stay at quarterback there or anywhere else. I think he and they are going to have to turn around really quickly, or else I think they're going to be jumping off the ships.
All right, Danny. Next game, can we shut the Clippers? Can we shut down the Clippers a little bit? Sherrod, you pay attention. Turn around this way. And how about this score? The Arizona Cardinals 28, the Dallas Cowboys 16. The Arizona Cardinals 28, Dallas Cowboys 16.
Man,
Danny.
I don't even know. Man, can you imagine how? I don't know who would have picked the Cardinals. But you know how Vegas is. Somebody always does. But my goodness.
Somebody won some big time money this week.
I would have never had thought that in any way, shape, or form. So let's talk about not what the score was. How do you think that happened, Ben?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I am going to I'm gonna give you my opinion. And there's a lot of Dallas Cowboys fans out there, and a lot of the media and stuff. They're always talking about blame Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott don't play defense.
No.
Okay, so last week we was talking about Dallas Cowboys had the best defense team ever in the NFL.
So that's just a quick question there. So they lost a guy, a really good guy.
He plays corner that day.
He does. Well, people do throw the ball in the NFL. But I'm telling you, I don't know that was the problem with that. I think that they were a little surprised by what Arizona had. I think they probably took it a little lightly. But Diggs being out will not help matters any. But,
no, definitely not. But Arizona didn't throw the ball much at them.
They didn't. You know, all we've heard about is Parsons, who is an amazing athlete, done this. You know, this week on the sports shows, I heard him even nominated as NFL Player of the Year, this and that, and I really just don't. I don't see that. But I think the Cowboys will bounce back. But I'll tell you what, it had to hurt their feelings. I know it's hurt the Cowboy fans' feelings, because I really haven't heard a whole lot since then.
No, and if I'm trying to think of this quote right, and D. Danner always puts it on Facebook. You can hear a rat piss on cotton.
That's pretty quiet.
That's
pretty quiet. But
that's as quiet as Sherrod over there.
But here's what I will tell you about that fan base. I promise you, by Sunday afternoon, they'll be wide open again, and we're going back to the Super Bowl game. I mean, I will say that about their fan base. They're loyal to the very end, no matter what, and they always believe that they're going to come back and do this and do that.
There's some good. I mean, there's some great Cowboy fans, but there's also some awful Cowboy fans. And we do have to realize they ain't won anything since 1995. And you got to realize this Emmitt Smith's a great grandpa right now. So that's the last time they won the big.
It's been a minute.
Well, let's get off that. Let's get off that talking.
Hold on. You ain't going nowhere yet.
Sherrod has something to say.
Hey, look, I'm not knocking the Cowboys. You know, they all professionals. Cardinals, Cowboys, everybody. Cardinals played a smart game. Whenever they got a chance to get points, they took it. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, kudos to the Cardinals, man. I don't think anybody's seen that coming. And I thought that their organization, man, they ain't liking you.
Bro, you just over there trying to be nice. Bro, the quarterback. Who's the quarterback for the Cardinals?
Yeah, ask them who that is.
Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, come on now.
The astrophysicist.
Hey, y'all seen that man pull it down the run when he did that?
So all I'm telling you is Josh Dobbs played better than Dak Sunday. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that game, that day, he played better. Dak does have to have some consistency. And did you just talk about Dak don't play defense, Dak don't make, who makes the most money in the NFL?
Quarterback.
That's right. And so who's got the most weight on their shoulders?
I agree. I know
He's got to take the good and the bad. If they lose, it's going to be Dak, and if they win, it's going to be somebody else. But that's just the way it is. But them Cowboys fans, they won't be quiet long. I promise you that.
All right, next game, another big fan base. Pittsburgh Steelers 23, Las Vegas Raiders 18.
Man, so it kind of I watched that game late, and the Steelers. Defensively, I think the Steelers won that game defensively. They had a few big plays that, Watt played a huge game in that one and put a lot of pressure on folks, and I thought that it was big. So I don't know if we're where we are on that one, but for me, the Steelers, I thought, did enough to win. I'll say that. Neither one of them looked great to me.
No. All right. 2 Monday night games last night. My Flying Eagles 25, Tampa Bay 11. We talked about that game. So we can go skip around that game.
Nah, it's all right. Yeah, we didn't talk about it, but again, the Eagles are warming up, and the
They came back.
Front line. Somebody's going to have to load the box, but eventually they're going to have to change something up to get a little more weapons. But they're not out to what I think that they were last year or the year before, but they're okay. They're better than okay, and I think they're going to do well.
Yeah. We do got to screw. I think we have the best offensive line in the NFL, so we'll see.
Pretty impressive.
Last game of the night was Cincinnati Bengals 19 and Rams 16.
Man, I was just curious if anybody was even going to score for a little while. So, all week all we heard was Joe Burrow's calf. Kudos to him. He stepped up and played for them and did enough to get a win.
Yeah. And he was playing, he's still hurt, so they won. Main thing, get a win.
Yeah, they did. And, the Rams have some stuff going on, too. They come out running the football starting the season and really just sticking it down people's throat like the Eagles have been doing. They shipped out Cam Akers. I think he's at Minnesota now. They changed a few things. They're a hot mess as well.
Then I'm going to read a couple comments, then we'll take a small break and get ready for this coming up Sunday's games. There's some comments. Frankie Millsap saying, do some work, Flip Connor.
Frankie called him out.
Barry Martin, Daniel Brothers said, Dennis Lee, I just told Danny Bears will beat Washington next week.
So I will tell you, he might be the worst fan ever. He should just give up. All he ever does is talk about his team. I mean, you got to stay with him, support him. And he's going to say he's been doing that a long time. I know it's easy to get frustrated with him, but I guarantee you this. The Bears will not beat Washington this week.
Well, they're not. Yeah, I was reading. They're not playing this week, by the way. They're not playing. Well, Washington actually.
Next week, he said.
Oh, okay, next week. Okay. But we're going to take a short break and come back with this week's games. Catch us on the flip side.
All right, we right at 1 hour right now. Okay, that's fine. You know, I go all day. It don't matter to me. Let me know when y'all ready.
Yep.
You ready? Okay. Mike's high.
All right. We're back here at Flip's Barbershop. Absolutely a great place for you to come out and get a haircut and entertain yourself a little bit. My favorite days is Saturdays. They got a lot going on, but they're open the rest of the week also. So come by, enjoy it. It's a great venue and a lot of fun. I promise you'll go away with a great haircut and a lot of laughs as well. Great guys here, and they can all hook you right up. So again, Dan, we're going down the list here for the games for this week. I know we got a few other ads we want to talk about before we wrap up.
Yeah, let me, first I got a couple shout outs, a couple birthday shout outs this past week. Hey, our host here, the owner of the barbershop here, Flip Connor. Happy birthday to
Yeah,
Flip.
I saw that. Happy birthday. Now, how old is he now?
I can't tell. I don't know. I know he's a little younger than me.
What you mean he's younger than you? He looks like he's 12.
But yeah, it's his birthday this week. He enjoyed it. He went on a little vacation. I'm glad he's back, so we, harass him a little bit about the Cowboys. But also another birthday I wanted to mention. Calling my brother-in-law's brother, Uncle G. Gary Morrison's birthday was Saturday. Happy birthday, big guy. I know I done told you, but hey, happy birthday again on the air, buddy.
So now, did you say that's your brother-in-law's brother?
Yeah.
So I got to process that, man. It takes me a while. Brother, I got it. Happy birthday, G.
Yeah, big Ohio State fan, so he got that big win Saturday on my Irish. But happy birthday, G. Hope you had a great day. Quick, another one. Advertising again for the PS5 tournament. I had a couple people actually comment and ask. It's double elimination. Saturday, October 21st. So when you lose two, you go home. Okay. It's PS5, not Xbox. We might have an Xbox another time, but it's PS5 Madden tournament. Okay, so double elimination, and yes, like we said, it's $25 entry fee. I had a couple. Also, if you come by the barbershop, you can pay Flip Connor or Caleb McDaniel, or also you can, my number's on there. You just call me. And we'll get you in. As soon as you pay, you're locked in for the October 21st tournament. Or just come by the barbershop, and like I said, pay the barbers, all right? So it is double elimination, and it is PS5 Madden tournament, okay? Also, we'll be having a hot dog hamburger sale that day. So it's on a Saturday, so the barbershop will be live. So it'll be nice. Come by and get your hamburger hot dogs.
Heck yeah.
But all right, Dan, we're going to go down to NFL games this week. And first Thursday night game is going to be a good one. Detroit Lions at Green Bay.
So, that's a division game. That's the old school division game. And we'll see. I think that the winner of that game wins the division.
Hey, because Minnesota's 0-3. Who else is? Oh, the Bears, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next game, and we'll pass the mic around on a game or two, but right now we're going to, next game, Atlanta at Jacksonville.
Yeah, so the Jacksonville Jaguars are off to a 1-2 start. I think people expected more from that, but they might be who we thought they were after that whooping they took last week. I'm going to say the Falcons are going to bounce back.
I'm going to take the Jacksonville. I think they'll bounce back after that Texans loss and beat the Falcons. Well, I think the game of the week, Daddy, I think is Miami Dolphins at Buffalo Bills.
If there's a better one out there, I don't know where it's going to be. There's another one right down below that's going to be an interesting game. But again, I'm going to go with the Dolphins till somebody proves me wrong. Sorry, Luke Bohemier.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say sorry, Luke Bohemier, too. I don't, until somebody stops Tua, and that'll be a high-scoring game. I don't think the defense is going to stop.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's an even one right now, but that's what Vegas is saying, which worries me a little bit. They might know some stuff we don't.
Yeah. Next game, Danny, speaking of Luke Bohemier again, Denver Broncos 0-3 at Chicago 0-3. Somebody has to win.
Yeah, I think that for me, the Vikings are going to win for sure.
No, Broncos. It's Broncos at Bears.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Vikings. I'm sorry. Broncos is definitely for me. I do. Broncos, but they're nothing to brag about either.
Yeah,
They're 0-3 as well.
I think Russell Wilson was struggling, and it's time to move on, I think. But I think I'm gonna pick the upset, Danny. If it is an upset, I'm gonna go with the Bears. Bears get their first win, Luke Bo.
Bears get their first win against the Broncos. I'm gonna stay on the Broncos side on that.
All right, this is another great game, and Derek Rogers, y'all could lose another one. Baltimore Ravens at Cleveland Browns.
So I think that's going to be a good one. That's what I was talking about. I think the defense of both of those teams are very solid. But I think that on offense, the Browns have a little more work to do and some consistency on the Ravens. I think it's going to be a toss-up. We'll see.
I'm going to take the home team on this one. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns.
I'll go Ravens.
Okay. Next game, Cincinnati Bengals at Tennessee Titans.
So neither one of them's excelling, but I think that the Bengals, who was it now, Cincinnati?
Cincinnati at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think that Cincinnati Bengals are going to start turning it up a little bit. I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I think I'm gonna go with Tennessee Titans at home. I think they'll bounce back after that loss. And Joe Burrow cannot move in the pocket right now with that calf muscle. So I think the Titans will put pressure on him. LA Rams at Indianapolis Colts.
I don't know if I like either one of them, but I'm going to say the Colts. They impressed me a little bit.
Hey, we're going opposite today.
Hey, one of them's going to win.
Yeah, I'm jumping on the Rams this week. All right, Danny. Your Buccaneers at New Orleans Saints.
So I think that the Saints are showing that they're probably the better team, and we don't usually play well against them. It's 3.5 point spread, and we're the underdog. So I think that I'm always going to pull for the Bucs and go with them, but I like the Saints' chances.
I'm with you. I like the Saints at home. All right, the Washington Redskins Commanders at Philadelphia.
So I would say that it's going to be a double-digit win for the Eagles. Right now it's an 8.5 point spread, but I think it could be ugly again for the Redskins or for the Commanders. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going. Fly Eagles fly. So we'll go. Hopefully we can jump off to a 4-0 start. Right here, a team of the 0-3 teams, Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I told you. For me, it's Vikings all the way.
I'm jumping on Minnesota, too. I don't see nothing at Carolina. I think Flip Connor was right at the beginning of the year. Carolina Panthers might not win a game.
I say that, too. I don't know. They might find one fall in their lap out there, but it's hard to go 0-16 in the NFL.
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans.
I think both of them, to me, that's a very intriguing game, and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, actually.
Pittsburgh. I'm going to pick the upset in this one. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I like their head coach, defensive-minded coach, and their quarterback, that young quarterback. I think he's going to end up being better than Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think he's already better, but that's just me.
All right, hey, 4 o'clock games, Las Vegas Raiders at Los Angeles Chargers.
I'm going to stick with the Chargers. I think they're going to start heating up a little bit themselves, and the Raiders, I think they keep hurting themselves with the mistakes they're making.
Yeah, I'm going to jump on the Chargers. I don't think Jimmy G is the answer for the Raiders, and they're already having trouble with wide receiver and quarterback issues. So, all right, big game that
Bounce back game
for Dallas. But hey, this is Belichick ain't no joke.
He ain't.
He ain't win at Dallas.
He ain't a joke, but he definitely don't have the weapons that he's had in the past. And I say Dallas wins by a touchdown.
Dallas wins by a touchdown. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Dallas also on that game. The Arizona Cardinals at San Fran.
So kudos to the Cardinals this week, and enjoy that as much as you can right up till 4 o'clock on Sunday, because they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I totally agree on that one. San Fran, they might shut Arizona Cardinals out.
Very possible.
This is Jets need this game, this Sunday night game, but
they can need it all they want. But
KC at New York Jets.
Yeah, listen, when Joe Namath has said he's had enough, get rid of it, then I know that the fan base is already turned on. I know that they're struggling in a lot of ways, and that's a miserable place to be. But I see them losing by double digits again.
Yeah, I can't go against Patrick Mahomes. So Monday night game. There's only one Monday night game this weekend. The Seattle Seahawks at New York Giants, Monday night game.
So I will go with Sherrod. We're going with Giants. I think that they're going to pull it off. I think they're going to try to turn that corner a little bit, start getting a little momentum. Going to be a tight game, but I'm going to go with the G-Men.
I think I'm going to ride with Seattle Seahawks and Pete Carroll and company. I think they go into New York and get that win.
Yeah, it's going to be a toss-up for sure, but I think the Giants are due to have a little good luck.
But that's all the Giants. Sherrod, of course, says the Giants. So, but that was this coming up picks, and it'll be some interesting games. It'll be some interesting.
Yeah,
games.
there'll be a surprise here, there, or every week, and I hope that we're here to talk about it next week. I look forward to that. Got a lot of stuff coming up. Make sure we remind everybody one more time. Do not miss your chance to be in the Madden 24 tournament. That's Saturday, October 21st. $25 entry fee. Winner goes home with $150, and the second place or first loser, whichever way you want to talk about it, gets $50. A lot of stuff going on. We appreciate all the folks calling in today. Luke Bo, we are always glad to hear from you. Appreciate the folks who are advertising for sponsors as well. We have several opportunities for that. There's information out there for you. We appreciate the folks who put their comments out there and ask those questions. It kind of helps us. And again, we didn't have very many Cowboy fans around today, and they're all in Hyde. But hopefully they can get a win and come back out next week.
Yeah, hopefully they'll come out next week. But by the way, also next week we'll have some high school local coaches calling in next Tuesday on this Friday's night's games, and then we'll be talking about the NFL again.
Yeah, I was surprised. Before the season started, we had a lot of chirping going on and a lot of talk, and a lot of Bunker Hill Bears fans were here on that opening day Saturday, and they're 5-0. You should be hearing all about it, man. This is a game week this week. Bunker Hill Bears 5-0, West Lincoln Rebels 5-0. It should be a great game. If you want to go see a good one, I would give you a ticket for that.
Dan, who you like in that game?
So I would tell you that I think if a team can control the football by running the ball, I always like their chances. And I am a believer that West Lincoln is able to do that. So I'm going to actually take the West Lincoln Rebels in that.
I'm gonna go opposite. I think Bunker Hill is going to line up 9, in that box, and dare West Lincoln to throw. And I think Bunker Hill got too many athletes out there.
So they're very athletic, and I will tell you that I would not want to bet on either side of that. But I feel like that whoever dominates the line of scrimmage on offense will win.
And whoever wins that game will probably win the CFAC.
They're going to be one game ahead at least, at a minimum, from everybody else.
Well, we'll be back next Tuesday at Flip's Barbershop Sports Talk. Tune in. Thank you all you guys for tuning in today. And we'll see you on the flip side.
All right.
Flip's Barbershop, located at 1912 North Main Avenue in Newton, North Carolina. Flip's Barbershop is a full-service barbershop for men, women, and children alike, and is fully equipped with 4-way televisions, pool table, video games, and vending machines to make your stay more enjoyable. We're open Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. For appointments, call 828-461-4949 or log on to flipsbarbershop.com or just stop by. All walk-ins are welcome.